everybody, so this is going to be a little bit more of a serious video, just for the simple fact because we live in a world where people are assholes. People will try to bring you down the best way that they can to make themselves feel better about themselves. And I see it all the time. I even experience bullying, haters, whatever you want to call it. And I'm almost 31 and I still encounter people who have to constantly criticize me, attack me, and I watch other people and it happens to them, and it's like, you know, why not make a video about this? Because we do live in a world where some people can't handle bullying and then they end up taking their own lives over somebody else's stupidity. So here are some things that I would like to share with you, and yeah, so let's go ahead and dive into this video. Right, so the first one, I do have notes because if I just start talking, I could end up on this subject and then end up on like an entirely different subject. That's just how I am as a person, because once things start pissing me off, then other things start triggering my pissed off mode and I just keep going, and I don't want to do that. So the first one is avoid taking it personally. That's a major one because, like, more than likely it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Be confident in yourself. Don't allow jealous people to affect your confidence or create self-doubt. Keep doing what you're doing and don't allow other people to stop you, because the number one rule is if you try to be something to make other people happy, you will never be happy with yourself. Focus on people that do support you, even though if you feel like people don't support you, even if you have like 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 people who support you, focus on them, because those are people who actually see you as a person and appreciate you as a person. Remind yourself that they are jealous because you are doing something well. And that is the honest to God truth. Like, a lot of times most of my problem is with other women. That has always been a problem for me, even from when I was old enough to realize that, you know, jealousy, men jealousy and all that stuff. And it's just, I have probably dealt with that probably going into middle school or right out of middle school, going into high school. I have lost so many female friends due to jealousy problems. And it's just sad because a lot of the times when you sit back and you look at the people that got mad at you for something so petty, or got mad at you for a man that they thought you were messing around with, and you look back and you're like, you're not even with that guy. Like, stupid. Alright, the next thing is ignore the jealous and hateful comments. Although it can be very hard to ignore mean comments from jealous people, because I am a failure to that. So many people can just be rude and mean. Like, they'll call you like everything in the book. I just spit on my phone. They'll call you anything and everything. Like, I have been called a whore. I have been called trash. I have been called retarded. I have been called like, oh, you need to grow up, you need to act your age, blah blah blah. And it's like, if you know personally that you're not doing those things, you're not doing anything, then don't let that kind of stuff bother you. Even though, like I said, a lot of times it is hard to ignore people like that, because they can be very mean and they can be very hateful. And a lot of the problem that a lot of people don't understand is, one reason why I don't like people who have to say mean or negative shit is, like, you know, a lot of times my problem is I came from a very broken home. And what I mean by that is, I don't have very good relations with neither of my parents or any of my family. My parents have called me names. My parents have said things about me. So when you see as your parents are attacking you the same way that other people are attacking you, kind of get the thought that maybe you are that way. But then you just have to tell yourself, no, you're not, because you're just not doing those type of things. It's that individual. I mean, that's the thing that triggers me, and that's what hurts me, is when somebody, like, how would I say it, they spark back a bad memory, I guess you could say. Alright, the next one is address haters in your daily life and head on. So when ignoring someone is not actually an option, approaching the situation directly may help release the jealous tension. Have a conversation to confront them about their behavior. I have done that before, and it just seems like it gets worse, because then it's almost like they're taking advantage of the situation of, oh well, this bitch is over here acting like my friend when you know damn well she ain't acting like my friend. And then it just creates more of a problem. So that's why a lot of times, to be honest with you guys, that's why I really don't hang out with people, just for the simple fact, because it's just, I can't deal with the bullshit talking shit about somebody. It's just so stupid, and it's like, that's all people do nowadays, is just talk shit about everybody, and it's just fucking annoying. It's like there's so much more to life than talking about somebody else's problems or gossiping about them. Like, it really just irks me to no end. Alright, and then the next one is reduce your negative interactions with the person. If you can change your environment or social dynamics, it will reduce the jealousy or the jealous person's ability to influence you. And what they mean by that is hang out with people who support you, which is obviously the biggest thing, so the hater is less likely to confront you. And then when you see the jealous person, be the first to speak with a polite greeting and then move on. And, you know, sometimes a lot of people say you need to kill people with kindness. I have tried to kill people with kindness, and they still do the same sneaky, conniving bullshit. And then it's like, sometimes, I mean, I don't know, this is just my thoughts. I'm not a therapist. I'm not anybody who's trained to, like, help somebody, like, tell you need to do this way or that way. But sometimes killing somebody with kindness doesn't always work. So sometimes you do have to put your foot down. I mean, that's just how I see it as, is sometimes you do have to put your foot down, because some people just don't understand. Like, they'll just keep going until they just, I have no idea. Alright, and then the next one is change your routine so you don't cross paths with your hater. And all they're saying is, like, if you see your hater coming or someone who constantly starts problems with you, is just avoid them, get away from them, because that's probably the best way or thing that you can do, is to just try to ignore them. Because one thing I have noticed is if you do just ignore that person, eventually they just stop. Until, like, you give in to them, or then they, like, spark back up. It's like, get a grip. Set boundaries. Don't feel like you have to continue to listen to the jealous person vent to you all the time. Set boundaries to distance yourself from this person. Make a mental time limit for how long you can engage with a negative person. Then politely excuse yourself from them or the conversation. So that is a pretty good tip, is, you know, especially like if you're in a working environment, you do kind of have to, like, if you want to keep your job and you don't want to get in trouble or you don't want any problems with your job, is just be nice and civil to them, but also at the same time, you're not being paid to fucking talk to them. Alright, and then let the person know that you don't appreciate their negativity. Like, that's kind of what I was saying, is sometimes you do have to step up for yourself. Don't let people run over you. I do know a lot of people do struggle with problems. Like, my husband is so bad that he just lets people treat him however they want to treat him, and then I'm more of the aggressive person in the relationship, and if I see somebody like treating my husband wrong, I will say something, and he's just like, just let it go, just let it go. I do know a lot of people struggle with not being able to stand up for themselves. Like, my mother is the same way. She'll let people shit all over her, and it's like, me as a person of standing up for myself and not letting somebody run all over me, I just can't understand how people let people just run over them, shit on them. I don't know, maybe I'll do a video about that. So yeah, these are the things that can help you deal with a hater, and some things that I kind of just want to throw in there of how to deal with a hater, that because I constantly deal with hating people, because just like the type of environment that I live in. Number one golden rule is just don't really care what they have to say, even though sometimes it can be hard. I know it can be hard, but just know that if they have something to say about you, more than likely it's them, not you. So just always kind of remember that. One other thing that I love that Cardi B said is, I don't care who's in front of me. I don't care if you can speak better than me, act better than me, you have a college degree better than me. Bitch, I'm still doing better than you. I really like that. And that's just things that you kind of got to tell yourself. And another thing that kind of helps me is, what I do is I make fun of myself before I can allow someone to talk shit about me. Just for the simple fact, because I'm pretty much kind of being aggressive and saying like, hey, you know, I already know this problem about me, so you don't need to remind me. That's another thing. You already know your flaws. Why let somebody else be like, oh, like my flaws? I have a big ass forehead. I was always picked on for that in high school. I don't give a fuck. Like, okay, who gives a shit? It's a forehead. I have been made fun of for my teeth because I do have a bad overbite, but you know, that is something genetic that I could not help. And that's another thing that you just need to tell yourself is like, a lot of things that people make fun of you for is stuff that you probably can't help or control. So just don't worry about it. So I hope you guys found this video to be a little helpful, because I am so sick and tired of hearing that someone has committed suicide because someone has said something about somebody or they were making fun of them. It's just very sickening to me because, you know, I have been a victim of bullying. I'm not going to sit here and say my life's perfect, because my life is not perfect. I have been made fun of. I mean, so yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big, huge thumbs up. And as always, I will see you very soon in my next video. And remember, you are beautiful the way that you are. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. If they try to tell you otherwise, they don't need to be in your life.